Hi students, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to start our new chapter, iterative constructs in Java. This is the final chapter. Okay, so students, you already learned conditional constructs, isn't it? So what is conditional constructs? When a condition is true, then we will execute as a statement. Okay. So when this condition is true, a less than 10, then only we are executing this statement. Okay, so that is known as the selection constructs. Okay, so flow of execution is changing. Normally in a program, the flow of execution is statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 till the last statement, isn't it? So this is the normal execution of a program, that is known as the selection constructs. Normally from top to bottom all the statements will be executed one after another. In selection constructs, we are executing a statement only when the condition is true, otherwise we will skip this statement. Suppose statement 3 only needed to execute when a condition is true. Okay, when the condition is true we will execute statement 3, when the condition is false we will skip the statement 3. That is known as selection constructs. In iteration constructs or looping constructs, suppose the fourth statement will be repeatedly executed 5 times. That 5 times or any number of times, that depends on the program or the user. If the user want to execute this fourth statement 5 times, that is possible by iterative constructs. For example, you need to print Java 10 times. Okay, so what do you want to print? You need to print Java 10 times. Then what is the statement? The statement, only one statement, which means system dot out dot print ln. Okay, so in bracket we will write Java. See, so this statement in a class A, then public static void main, then opening braces, then see, in this class, in this main method we will write the SOP Java, okay, 10 times. We need to type the same statements 10 times. Okay, then only usually it will print Java 10 times, which means we need to repeat this SOP Java 10 times. Okay, then only this program will print Java 10 times. So the length of the program will be very big. Okay, so 10 SOP will be there. So instead of we can use a loop. Instead of repeating this SOP 10 times, we can make the use of a loop. That loop will execute this one statement 10 times. Okay, so this only needed. So after using a loop, we can execute this statement, system.out.println 10 times using a loop. So that will print Java 10 times. So the number of statements are less if you are using a loop. If you are not using a loop, the number of statements will be more, isn't it? So that is the advantage of loop. I hope you could understand. So that is known as the iterative constructs. So then what is known as the loop? Loop means we will execute a set of instructions or a set of statements a number of times whenever a condition is true. Okay, suppose a condition a less than 10 is true. Okay, so we will execute this SOP a until the condition false. When the condition a less than 10 is false, at that time we will stop executing this SOP. Okay, just before that means until the condition is true, we will continue executing this SOP using a loop. That is known as the loop. So if you want to execute 5 times, you can execute 10 or 11, that depends on the user or the programmer. Then there are some segments for any there are some segments of a loop. The first segment is initialization. So I missed the initialization to add here. Okay, so I will show you. Okay, see here you can see the initialization. Okay, so see, initialization means there will be a variable in this example, counter. Okay, so this counter is the variable, so this counter is known as the initialization. Okay, so there will be in a loop, every loop contains a variable. That variable will control the number of iteration. Iteration means this SOP is repeated once, that is known as the first iteration. Okay, then this SOP is repeating second time, that is known as the second iteration. So executing a statement or a group of statement once, that is known as the first iteration. Then if it is executing again, then that is known as the second iteration, that is known as the iteration. Okay, so to iterate a number of statement, there will we need to check a variable. Okay, that variable is known as counter variable or the control variable. See, it is written loop control variable. The variable which is used to control the number of iteration of a loop, that variable is known as the control variable. Usually we are using I, j, then k, that depends on the program. Okay, so that is known as the initialization. I hope you could understand. Then next is update statement. Okay, sorry, test condition. Test condition means here you can see a condition, counter less than or equal to 10. See, the same variable we have seen, this control variable we will initialize first. Okay, so the first segment is initialization. Okay, initialization. Then the second segment is test condition. See, the initialized variable we will be using as a for the condition, such as suppose a is the initialized variable, that also the loop control variable. Okay, a less than is equal to 10, that is the test condition. Okay, so when this condition is true, then only we will execute the body of the loop, or body of the loop means a certain statements. Okay, then next one is update statement. In each iteration we need to update this a or the control variable. Suppose here I am updating value of a by 1. Okay, usually I am initializing a with 1, int a equal to 1. Okay, so initialize the value of a is 1. Now checking 1 less than or equal to 10, that condition is true. Then executing this print Java. Okay, so this is the body of the loop, SOP Java. So the Java will be executed once, it will print Java. Then after I am updating value of a by 1. So now value of a will be 2. Okay, then checking the condition 2 less than or equal to 10, that is again true. Then again executing Java, it will print Java. Then updating the control variable, that will be, now value of a is 2, so 2 plus 1 will be 3. So value of a will be 3 now. Then checking the condition 3 less than or equal to 10, condition is true. So we can execute again, which means the third iteration. So printing Java again. Then updating value of a again, now it is 3 plus 1 will be 4. Okay, then 4 less than or equal to 10, that condition is true. Printing Java again. So this will be repeated until value of a reaches 10. When the value of a is 10, 10 less than or equal to 10, that is true. So executing 10th time Java. Okay, then updating value of a, that is a equal to a plus 1, value of current value of a is 10, we are adding 1 to it, so that will be 11. Then checking the condition 11 less than or equal to 10, this condition is false, isn't it? So if the condition is false, we will not repeat or execute or iterate this SOP, we will coming out of the loop. Okay, so that is known as, that is the working of a loop. So that is known as the update statement. So update statement may be anything. If you want to update by 2, that is possible. If you want to update by 5, that is possible, such as a equal to a plus 5, that also possible. That is known as the update statement. See, this counter, this operator you may have seen from the operator chapter. This is increment operator, isn't it? Post increment. So it will increment the value of counter by 1. Okay, then see, next one is the body of the loop. See, we will write the body of the loop in a block. You already know what is block. The statements contains inside an opening braces and a opening brace and a closing brace, that is known as a block. See, so here a loop contains two statements, one SOP and one addition operation. Okay, so both will be executed in each iteration. Okay, so that is known as the body of the loop. This body of the loop may be a single statement, any number of statement. So that body will be executed. Okay, the number of statements doesn't matter. If it is 100 statements, all the 100 statements will be executed. Okay, so that is known as the body of the loop. So we have learned then which are the segments of loop: initialization, test condition, then update statement, then body. Initialization, test condition, update statement and body. We can check how many times each will execute. Initialization will execute only once in a loop. If it is in any loop, initialization will be execute only once. Okay, then after initialization, test condition will be checked. That will be checked many times. Then update statement is also executed many times. Body of the statement is also executed many times, depend on the condition. Okay, only initialization is executing once. Okay, initialization will not execute the second time. Next we are going to learn types of loop. Types of loops are two types. One is entry controlled loop and another one is exit controlled loop. Okay, this category is based on the condition. Okay, already you know the body of the loop. So this category of the loop is based on the condition. Okay, in entry controlled loop, condition will be checked first. Okay, so after checking the condition, body of the loop will be executed. That is known as entry controlled loop. See, means in the entry at the entry we are controlling the loop. Means when the condition is true, then only we are executing body. When the condition is false, we will not execute body of the loop, isn't it? So that's why it is known as the entry controlled loop, because at the beginning only we are controlling the loop. Number of iteration is based on the condition also. When the condition is true, then only it will iterate. Okay, so that kind of loop is known as entry controlled loop. The examples are for and while. For loop and while loop are examples of entry controlled loop, which means for loop and while loop we will check the condition before executing body. Okay, then what about exit controlled loop? We will execute body of the loop. Okay, body of loop. We will execute body of the loop before checking the condition. Okay, so condition will come here. Before checking the condition, we will execute body of the loop. That is known as exit controlled loop. Example is do while. Okay, example is do while. Do then while. Okay, then condition will be here. So that is known as the exit controlled loop. For loop and while loops are examples of entry controlled loop, because condition will be checked before the body. Then exit controlled means condition will be checked after the body. Do while is an example. Okay, so we can see the for loop first. Okay, so here as you can see in the figure, this is the syntax of for loop. See, for initialization, we have seen initialization, which means initializing the control variable. Then test condition. Test condition means based on the control variable we write the test condition. If the test condition is true, we will execute body of the loop. See, where is the condition? Before the body. So that's why for loop is known as entry controlled loop. After executing body once, we will update the value of control variable, then again we will check the test condition, then body of the loop will be executed when the condition is true. After executing body, again we will update, then again we will check the test condition. Okay, so this will be repeated until the test condition evaluates to false. When initialization is executed, initialization is executed at the beginning of the loop. So we can see an example. So you can see the program 10.1. Okay, so here we have created a class natural numbers, then we are declaring the main method. Then see the line number 7, for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Okay, so this int I equal to 1 semicolon, okay, that statement is known as initialization. Okay, so initialization only executed once. Okay, once it is executed, it will not execute again. Okay, so after initialization, control of the program will go to test condition. See here it is written I. What we initialized, the variable we initialized is also I. So this I is known as the control variable of this for loop. So based on that control variable, we will iterate the loop. See I less than or equal to 5. This condition will be true only because see value of I is 1, 1 less than 5, that is true. So when the test condition is true, then only we will execute body of the loop. Okay, when the test condition is false, we will not execute body. Okay, so how many statements are there? There are only one statement as the body of the loop. Here you can see there is only one statement, system.out.println I, value of I, value of the control variable we are printing. Okay, so from the initialization, control of the program going to test condition, from test condition going to the body of the loop. Okay, so this is the flow of execution. From test condition going to the body of the loop, so printing value of I. So what will print? Now value of I is 1, so 1 will be printed. Okay, then after executing body completely, program control will go to the update statement. Okay, so current value of I is 1 now. So after executing I plus plus, value of I will be 2. Okay, so after executing I plus plus, value of I will be 2. Then after executing update statement, again control will go to test condition. Okay, control will not go to initialization, it will go to test condition only. Then checking the condition I less than or equal to 5. What is the current value of I? 2. So the test condition will be like this, 2 less than or equal to 5. This condition is true, isn't it? So when the condition is true, we can execute again. So that execution is known as the second iteration. Okay, so second iteration means printing current value of I. Current value of I is 2, so printing 2. Then again going to update statement, so value of I will be 3 because of I plus plus. Then after going to test condition, condition will be 3 less than or equal to 5, that is also true. So you can execute body of the loop again. So printing value of I is 3, that is will be printed. Then going to update statement, value of I will be 4, condition 4 less than or equal to 5, that is true. So we can execute body, printing current value of I which is 4. Then going to update statement, value of I will be 5, then 5 less than or equal to, now 5 condition will be 5 less than or equal to 5. This condition is true because of the equal to operator. Okay, so again executing body, printing current value of I which is 5. Okay, so 5 is printed. Then again updating value of I which will be 6. Okay, then from update statement going to test condition. What is test condition now? 6 less than or equal to 5. See, this condition is false. So when the condition is false, we will not execute body of the loop, control of the program coming out of the loop. Okay, if there is any statement here, that statement will be executed. So see what is the output? Output is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Sorry, 1 2 3 4 5. This is the output. Okay. So the natural numbers we printed from 1 to 5. See, but the value of I is 6 now, but that we didn't print, because when the value of I reaches to 6, condition became false. So that's why we didn't iterate the SOP again. Okay. So this is how for loop or loop is working, and we seen the working of for loop. So I hope you could understand. Okay. Then we can see some examples using for loop. Okay. Write a program to display series of even numbers until 20. Okay. Series of even numbers. So students, how we will find an even number? So even number has a speciality, which means, so the first even number is 2. We can take 2. When we divide 2 by 2, okay, when we divide 2 by 2, the remainder will be 0. Okay. How can we get the remainder? Using modulo operator. So 2 by 2, this modulo operator will return the remainder. Means when we do this operation 2 by 2, see, this modulo operator will return the remainder, and we have two operators, division and modulo. This division operator will return the quotient, and this modulo operator will return the remainder. Okay. So this is for quotient, this is for remainder. So we will make the use of this modulo operator. So if 2 divided by 2 is 0, okay, so then what we will get? We will get the even number. Okay. So only for even numbers the remainder will be 0. If we take an odd number, see, 3 is an odd number, we will divide with 2. Only we are dividing with 2. So 2 into 1 time it will go, 2 into 1 will be 2. See, remainder is a non-zero value. So this logic we will apply to find even number. Okay. So we can write the program. Okay. So class A, let it be any class. Okay. Class A, public static void main string args. Okay. Then we are making block for main method. Then what we will do? We will start our for loop directly. Int I. Okay. This time we can use another variable, anything, any variable we can use, depend on the user. Here I am using A. Okay. Int A equal to 1. Then A less than or equal to 20. Why I return 20 here? Because until 20, write a program to display the series of even numbers until 20. Okay. Then A plus plus. Okay. So initialization we return test condition, then update statement. Then we are going to write the body of the loop. Okay. Then if the same condition we discussed, 2 modulus 2 equal to 0. Okay. Here we will change the value of I. Value of A will range, we will start from 1 to 20. So now the value of A is 2. Okay. When the value of A reaches to 2, 4, 6, 8 even numbers, this condition will be true. So we can write the condition, if A modulus 2 equal to 0, what will happen? SOP means system.out.println, that you have to write completely. SOP A. Okay. One more we need to close. This is for this for loop, and this is the block for main method, and this is the block for class. See, this is the program. See, initialize the value of A with 1, then condition is A less than or equal to 20. Then what is the update statement? A plus plus. A modulus 2 equal to 0. See, when the value of A reaches to 1, we can check how what it will perform. See, when the value of A reaches to 1, when the value of A is 1, 1 modulus 2. What is the remainder of 1 modulus 2? That will be a non-zero value. Okay, isn't it? We can check 0 times, okay, 2, sorry, 0, 1, okay. So remainder is 1, isn't it? So remainder is a non-zero value, so this condition is false. So we will not execute SOP A. Okay, so before that we can check this condition. We will assign value of A with 1, okay. Then A we check we are checking sorry, we are checking 1 less than or equal to 20. Condition is true, okay. So after condition we will execute body of the loop. If A modulus 2 equal to 0, what is the value of A? 1 modulus 2 not equal to 0, so condition is false. So when this condition is false, we will skip this SOP, okay. Then so statements in the for loop is over. Then going to update the statement A plus plus, value of A will be 2, okay. So update statement executed. From update statement going to test condition, 2 less than or equal to 20, that is true, okay. So again when the condition is true, again body 2 modulus 2 is 0. What is 2 modulus 2? 2 modulus 2 is 0, so that is true. So we can execute body of the if. So printing value of A, value of A will be 2, okay. So statements over. Again updating, value of A will be 3. Then checking the condition 3 less than or equal to 20, that condition is true. Then checking condition 3 modulus 2 equal to 0, that is false, isn't it? 3 modulus 2 will be 1 only, okay. So condition is false. 3 modulus 2 is 1 not equal to 0, so condition is false. So we will not, when this condition is false, we will not execute SOP. Then going to update value of A, that will be 4. Then coming to the test condition, 4 less than or equal to 20, that is true, okay. So when this condition is true, we can execute body 4 modulus 2 is 0, 4 modulus 2, remainder will be 0, so condition true. So we will execute value of A, value of A is 4, so 4 will be printed. So similarly value of A will be, this statement will be repeated when the condition becomes false. So we can see when the condition, when the value of A reaches to, will be incremented, when the value of A reaches to 20, this condition will be true. 20 less than or equal to 20 condition is true. So executing the statement 20 modulus 2, that is 0. When we divide 20 by 2, remainder will be 0, so condition is true. So we can execute this SOP, printing value of A, which will be 20, okay. So similarly this will be repeated. So printing value of A, which is 20, then again updating value of A, that will be 21. Then checking condition 21 less than or equal to 20, that is false. So we will not execute body of the loop again, we are coming out of the loop, okay. Then we are coming out of the main method and the class. So program over. So what we got? We got 2, 4, 6, 8 till 20, okay. So this is our output. So what is our program? We need to print even numbers up to 20, okay. So that we got, so that is the program. Then display first 10 odd numbers starting with 11, okay. So we can do this program, okay. So next program we are going to do, okay, program 10.3, display first 10 odd numbers starting with 11. So we need to print 11, 13, 15. So 11 total 11, starting with 11, then first total number of numbers will be 10, okay. So that program we are going to print. So here I created the class and main method. Then we can use for loop, for int I already given in the question starting with 11, okay. So we can initialize with 11. Then what about the condition? So we need to print 10 odd numbers, okay. So we need to print 10 numbers. So if you start from 11, we need to reach till 30. Okay, so till 30 we need to repeat, then only we will get 10 numbers. Okay, so value of I we can increment by 1 or 2. Okay, then we can check for, we can use the same logic. Okay, when value of I modulus 2 not equal to 0. Okay, so as we know, when we divide an odd number by 2, we will get a remainder as 0, isn't it? So that's why we are using that logic. Okay, we can use print function, then we can print value of I. When this SOP will be executed, when the value of I reaches to 11, then 13, then 15, 17, then 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. Okay, see, for all these values this condition will be true, and for the other values this condition will be false, isn't it? When we take 12, okay, we can take 12 modulus 2. What is the value of 12 modulus 2? 0. Okay, so when we write according to this condition, 12 modulus 2 is equal to 0. This condition is false. Okay, if it is 13 modulus 2 will be a non-zero value. Okay, which will be, we can write 1. Okay, 1 is a non-zero value, so this condition is true. Okay, so for all these values this condition will be true, so we can print, at that time we can print value of I, isn't it? So we can add a space, otherwise all these value will be printed together. Okay, so we can just execute this program. See, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27 and 29. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 10 numbers we printed. So this is how program is working. Okay, then we can see the next question, which is 10.4. Write a program in Java to display square of first natural numbers. So square of first natural numbers, first 5 natural numbers, that program we need to do. Okay, so we can go to BlueJ. Okay, so for square of first 5 natural numbers, the first 5 natural numbers, as we know, which are they? We know, then the first 5 natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so value of the control variable we can begin from 1 to till 5. Okay, we can initialize with 1. First, those are the first 5 natural numbers. Then we need to go up to 5. So I less than or equal to 5. Then value of I should be incremented by 1. Then only we can take each values. Okay, so what we want to find out, we need to find out the square. Okay, for to find square we already learned a function, pow function. Okay, so system.out.println math function we can use, isn't it? Math.pow I comma 2. What it will print? Square of each numbers. So if you want, you can print square of I UARE square of square of I is, okay, so it will print square of I. Square of I means each time value of I will be repeated till condition false. See, square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9. Similarly, square of 4, 5 and the square of 4 and 5 are these numbers. Okay, so why we are getting 1.0, 4.0 like that? Because of math.pow function. This math.pow function will return double value only. So if you want to get only an integer value, what you can do, you can typecast it, isn't it? See, now we are getting the integer values only. Okay, so one more question is remaining, which is write a program in Java display table of a number. This program should accept the number via scanner class. Okay, so the same program we discussed in the beginning of the beginning of the video. To save time, I have written all the steps. See, in the question it is given that we need to use scanner class to read the number. Okay, see, in the question it is given that we need to use scanner class to read the number. Okay, so the number of the table of num we will find out. Suppose if the user is typing 2, okay, so that 2 will be stored in the variable num, then multiplication table of 2 will be printed this program. Okay, see, value of I started with 1, then condition is I less than or equal to 10, then value of I is updating by 1 only because of I plus plus. When the condition is true, this SOP will be printed. See, what is we are printing value of I. In the first iteration value of I is 1, so 1 will be printed, this I will print 1, then this multiplication symbol will be printed. Whatever we are writing in double quotes, that will be printed directly. Okay, so this multiplication table will print. In the first iteration, what will happen? This I, this variable value will be printed, which is 1. Okay, then what we will print? We will print star symbol or the multiplication symbol, which is star. Then we will print value of num. Value of num is 2. In every iteration, value of num is 2, which is not changing. Then after that, we will printing equal to sign. Then we are performing an arithmetic operation. Value of 5 will be multiplied with the num, that will be 2. Okay, so this is how this will be printed. In the second iteration, value of I will be 2, so here 2 will be printed. Then okay, then only change in the result. Value of I will be 2, that 2 will be multiplied with 2, so result will be 4. Okay, so till where this program will work? Till value of I reaches to 10, this program will this loop will execute the body. When the value of I reaches to 11, this condition becomes false and this statement will be skipped. Okay, we can execute this program. See, it is asking the number, so we can give 2. So it is printed the multiplication table. I hope you could understand today's video. If you have any doubt, you can just message in WhatsApp or Campus Care. Thank you, students.